Think of a scenario where your savior turns into the reason for death and agony of thousands. Helping a drug dealer to smuggle cocaine into the US, ruining families and turning the American dream to misery for many. A forbidden connection where US Army officer helped smuggle the purest drugs to the streets of New York, shattering the ladders of the Italian mafia and authorities alike. We will uncover some of the untold stories of the infamous American gangster, the person with unmatched ups and downs, and one of the most prominent drug lords of the 20th century. Being just 8 from seeing his cousin shot in the head due to racism, to killing a counterpart open on a street in broad daylight for just 5 grands. From being a quoted driver to making $1 million a day. From being the most feared to eventually being jailed and telling on over 50 cops involved in a deadly drug game. Cometh the end of story. We will reveal some fascinating facts regarding the 3 characters of the story which the movie failed to cover. But before that, let's take a deep dive into the life of one of the most notorious drug lords of the 20th century, Franc Lucas, the unexpected help from a US Army friend, and the relentless officer who brought him to justice. Franc Lucas, born and raised in the gritty streets of Harlem, New York, was no ordinary man. From a young age, he was drawn to the allure of power and money, seeking a way out of poverty. Lucas started his career in crime under the tutelage of the infamous gangster Bumpy Johnson. After Johnson's death, Lucas saw an opportunity. He began to build his empire, capitalizing on the chaos left in the wake of his mentor's passing. Lucas was determined to control the heroin trade in Harlem, but he needed a unique edge to outmaneuver his rivals. Enter Lucas's unexpected ally, his friend from the US Army, Ike Atkinson. Ike, a logistics officer stationed in Southeast Asia, played a crucial role in Lucas's rise to power. Using military contacts and resources, Ike facilitated the smuggling of heroin directly from the Golden Triangle, a region notorious for its opium production. The heroin was transported in the coffins of fallen US soldiers, a method so audacious and unexpected that it evaded detection for years. This innovative and ruthless tactic allowed Lucas to import high-quality heroin, which he branded as Blue Magic. His product was purer and cheaper than anything his competitors could offer, quickly making him a kingpin in the New York drug scene. At the height of his power, Lucas was making millions of dollars a week. He lived a lavish lifestyle, rubbing shoulders with celebrities and politicians alike. But with great power comes great scrutiny. Lucas's conspicuous spending and expanding empire eventually caught the attention of law enforcement. This is where our story introduces the relentless officer determined to bring Lucas to justice, Richie Roberts. Richie Roberts, an incorruptible detective in the New York Police Department, was known for his tenacity and integrity. In a sea of corruption, Roberts was a beacon of hope, dedicating his career to taking down the city's most dangerous criminals. Roberts and his team began meticulously piecing together the clues, following the trail of Blue Magic through the streets of Harlem. Despite numerous obstacles, including threats to his life and the temptation of bribes, Roberts never wavered. In 1975, after years of investigation, Roberts and his team finally gathered enough evidence to raid Lucas's operations. The bust was massive, leading to the seizure of millions of dollars in cash and drugs, and the arrest of Lucas and his associates, including Ike Atkinson. Lucas was convicted and sentenced to 70 years in prison. But in a twist of fate, he cooperated with authorities, providing information that led to the arrest of corrupt law enforcement officials and other drug traffickers. His sentence was significantly reduced, and he was released in 1991. The story of Franc Lucas, his army friend, and the relentless officer who brought him down, is a testament to the complexities of crime and justice. It's a tale of ambition, betrayal, and the unwavering pursuit of truth. As promised, there's more. Here are some untold facts about the trio that you might not know. Franc Lucas didn't just rely on heroin. He diversified his empire into real estate, nightclub, and even had stakes in legitimate businesses. This helped him launder money and create a facade of legality. Secondly, Ike Atkinson's involvement wasn't just about logistics. He was deeply embedded in the criminal underworld of Southeast Asia, forming alliances with local warlords and corrupt officials, which made the heroin supply chain even more robust. Third, Richie Roberts faced immense pressure and threats, not just from criminals, but from within his own department. Many of his colleagues were on the take, and his integrity made him a target. Yet, he remained undeterred, even turning down $1 million bribe from Lucas. Also, after his release, Franc Lucas attempted to live a quieter life. He gave interviews and worked with law enforcement to curb drug trafficking, trying to turn his notoriety into a cautionary tale for the younger generation. He even said he recommended young kids to not go on his path, and wished the same for his life, too. Finally, these lesser-known details paint a fuller picture of the high-stakes game between Lucas, Ike, and Roberts. Their lives were interwoven in ways that extended far beyond what was shown in the movie. What are your thoughts on reduced sentence for Franc? Comment below, and click here on screen to watch us covering the 8 phases it took Mr. Beast to be the YouTube king and beat T-Series as the most subscribed creator.